Hey guys, in this video I'll be comparing 2023 Derek Lunsford, 1999 Shawn and 2006 Lee Priest. All three of these guys are around the same height and in my opinion have some of the best physiques for this height range. They also have amazing shape and flow, and I thought that this would be an interesting comparison to make. Like in most of my comparisons featuring more than two competitors, I'll be awarding the winner of each pose 3 points, 2 points for second, and 1 point for third. Now, before the video does start, if you guys are enjoying my content, a like and sub would really help out the channel. With that all being said though, let's get into this video. Alright, here's the first pose, the front double bicep, and immediately you can notice that all three present small waistlines and great V-tapers. Starting with the arms, Lee presents the freakiest, driest, and largest arms out of the three. Those biceps are outstanding, and his huge triceps and forearms dominate his upper half. Shawn has a really complete and aesthetic set of arms as well, with good separation and no real weaknesses. Derek possesses some large arms, however they are nowhere near as separated as Lee's, and aren't as large or peaked as Shawn's. That being said, Derek does battle back in the lats and torso, presenting the best V-taper in my opinion. His lats flare out more than Shawn's, and his taper is much more dramatic. Lee has the worst V-taper as his lats are not the best, and his midsection, while super ripped and symmetrical, is the blockiest one here. Moving downstairs reveals that Shawn has the best quads as they are the largest in terms of size and sheer length, and present immaculate separation. Derek has good quads as well, but lacks calves, while Lee has calves for days, but lacks overall mass in the quads compared to Shawn. In my opinion, I'd give Shawn the win in this pose since he has a good balance of everything: great arms, great quads, and a great torso, plain and simple. He doesn't have the best torso nor the best arms between the three, but he has the best balance. In second, I would have Lee due to his superior arms and more complete legs. His midsection and V-taper aren't as impressive as Derek's, however, I can't see Derek winning against a guy who has far superior development and separation in the arms. The front lat spread is honestly a battle for second place as Shawn captures the win easily. Look at his lats, they are clearly the best here. His midsection is also the tightest, only rivaled by Lee, and his quads have the most quality muscle separation. His shoulder-to-shoulder width and large yet not too dominant arms help him create an incredibly aesthetic pose. He looks miles better than both Lee and Derek, and I really do believe that this one is a clear-cut win for him. Now, second place is definitely close since neither Derek nor Lee look super impressive. Both have arms that obscure their lats and kind of lackluster quads, along with chests that sort of disappear and flatten out. In terms of positives, both have really great arms, delts, and midsections. However, those things don't really compensate for the lack of lat exposure. In my opinion though, I'd give Derek a slight advantage. He is wider upstairs, and you could see more of his lats than Lee, and his quads show more separation. That being said though, second place could go to either of them. The side chest is a very competitive pose because nobody is completely blowing anyone out of the water. Starting with the side leg, Derek is seemingly the front runner in that aspect. He has the largest side leg and he showcases the most detail within the glutes and the quad ham tie-in. Between Shawn and Lee, I'd say that Shawn has the better side leg due to the size advantage alone. Lee doesn't have the best separation nor the most impressive amount of size, so he would definitely lose in that aspect. The upper half is a completely different story though, as Derek now finds himself in last. Sure, he has a lot of mass and might be the biggest upstairs, but he lacks that quality conditioning that the other two have. Now, the battle for first between Shawn and Lee is close, however, I'd have Shawn slightly winning here. This is because Lee's arm completely overshadows his chest and delts, while Shawn looks very proportional and has a superior chest. The rear double bicep might just be where Derek can make up some much needed ground as he is killing both Shawn and Lee in the width and conditioning in the back. Honestly, I don't think there's much to be said here, as Derek absolutely wins the upper body by virtue of that ridiculous back alone, and clearly has the most conditioned and dry lower body. Looking at Shawn and Lee, we see a very competitive matchup. Lee has the freak factor in the arms and legs, especially in those calves and forearms, whereas Shawn has Lee beat in the back and the upper body conditioning, as well as in the delts. Both show very similar conditioning in the lower bodies, and I'm honestly leaning towards Lee winning the legs due to those calves and gnarly looking hamstrings. The upper body would go to Shawn though, as his back is far superior than Lee's and he has a really good set of arms to match. So in my opinion, the order of this pose would go as follows: Derek, Shawn, then Lee. Like the rear double, the rear lat spread is an easy win for Derek again. His back is the thickest, widest, and the driest, and his glutes make the other two look soft. Once again, the battle for second is rather close between Shawn and Lee. Shawn has more thickness and development, but interestingly, Lee showcases more separation and depth to the traps and looks just as wide in the lats. That being said though, Shawn clearly has better conditioning in the glutes and hamstrings and has the better back, so I think I would have to give him the second place because it would only be right. I can't give Lee the second place because his back is not as well developed. Now, Lee's lackluster development in the back really can't touch Shawn here, so yeah, he would definitely have to land in third. The side tricep is a great pose for all three guys as they all look super aesthetic. Tricep for tricep, Lee clearly has the best, largest, and most genetically gifted one. Take a look at how much meat there is on his arm, it actually looks insane, guys. Shawn might have the worst tricep here as it looks to be the weakest genetically speaking, while Derek has a good but not great one. Looking at the side legs, it seems like Derek is pulling ahead of both Lee and Shawn. His side leg is just as dominant as it was in the side chest, and he clearly has the deepest cuts and the most separation. Lee and Shawn are actually pretty close, and it seems like Lee's side leg looks drastically improved from the side chest. However, he still loses to Shawn in the detail department. Shawn looks much more, feathered in the glutes and has a deeper, more pronounced quad ham tie-in. Looking at the torsos, I'd say that it is a battle between Lee and Shawn. Both have really tight and streamlined waists. However, Shawn shows more superior separation in the abs and serratus, and his chest is a lot fuller than Lee's. Derek looks really thick overall, and that's not necessarily a good thing when it translates into the midsection. He has the worst midsection here, but he has a great delt and chest. This pose is definitely close overall, however, I'd probably go with Shawn in first, Lee in second, and Derek in third. This is because I prefer aesthetics in this pose as opposed to size and conditioning. Objectively though, I could see this one coming down to Shawn versus Derek, however, I'm going to stick with my placings. The ab and thigh is an excellent pose for all three guys, as all of them have great midsections. Shawn and Lee present very similar packages in the torsos, since they have extremely symmetrical abs, great obliques, and good lats. Shawn does edge him out in the lat and quad development, as Shawn's longer legs look a lot more aesthetic and less compact. Derek presents an entirely different look as his vacuum pose and those flaring lats create the most dramatic V-taper out of all the three of them. His quads also look rather thick and separated here too, and he is definitely in contention for a win. Honestly, I think this pose comes down to Shawn and Derek battling it out for first, as Lee looks the least impressive in the overall V-taper and silhouette. I much prefer Shawn's crunched down ab and thigh as opposed to Derek's vacuum. However, it is undeniable that Derek's V-taper is superior. Personally, I would go with Shawn as his midsection is near perfect, his V-taper is very impressive, and those feathered quads really seal the deal. That being said though, this pose was really close between Derek and Shawn, however, Lee does land in third place. The most muscular might just be the winning pose for Lee as he immediately draws my attention. Those huge arms, that super symmetrical midsection, and the feathering on his quads all look tremendous, and you can see that those great calves and forearms only add to this pose. He looks so thick and compact in a great way, and I think he undeniably wins this one as his muscularity and conditioning are on point. Now, between Shawn and Derek, I'd probably go with Derek. He is so much larger than Shawn and has him beat in the arms, delts, and chest in terms of thickness. Shawn does have better conditioning, however, this pose really focuses on mass, and the disparity between them isn't really that large here in terms of condition. So I'd give this one to Lee with Derek in second and Shawn in third. Alright guys, that about does it for this video. In summary, I had Shawn winning this comparison with 20 points, Derek in second with 15, and Lee in third with 13. This wasn't a surprising outcome since Shawn was certainly the most polished and refined, coupling his great genetics with superb conditioning and the perfect amount of muscularity. Derek in second was quite understandable since he had the best back and better conditioning than Lee, who had the worst conditioning from the back and was the least consistent overall. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you thought of the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.